Just doing it remote. All right. Thank you, Marcus. Okay, we are officially recording now, just for your information. And welcome to the first meeting in November. We will call the Grant County Board of Commissioners to order, noting 3 members of 3 are present. Would you please stand with me? We would ask for a moment of silence. Retired Commissioner Ron Mowry passed away last week, and his service was held as well last week, and promised the family that we would acknowledge Ron's passing in a moment of silence. So would you bow your heads in a moment of silence, and then our Commissioner Ron Stewart will introduce our prayer for this morning.
Thank you. Pastor Paul McPherson is going to pray for us today. Pastor Paul is the pastor at New Life Fellowship in Gas City, and he's also my mom's pastor. So I know him really well. So thank you, Pastor Paul, for.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me come.
Sure.
Let's bow our heads in prayer, please. This is the man to whom I look, says the Lord, who is contrite and humble in spirit. Father, we come before you, Lord, here this day. Your word tells us that where we seek your wisdom and your counsel, Lord, there is great reward and blessing for all who lean upon you for their understanding. I pray for these men and women today, Lord, and for this board, that the Father, that in their discussions, in their decision makings, that Lord, that you would indeed pour out your wisdom upon them, that you would give them great discernment, so they judge rightly, they treat one another in the community in which they serve, or in a right manner. So we pray this day, Lord, that, Lord, in all that is being done, and all that is discussed, that, Lord, you will lead them by thy holy hand, directing them. And so, Father, with this is what we pray. Pour out your grace and your tender mercies upon them. Guide them, help them to be great leaders for our community. And Lord, also just for a thought, Father, for Ron Mallory's family, Lord, we just ask you to pour out your grace and your compassion and love upon them as well. And we thank you for it. Thank you for your many blessings. Thank you for your faithfulness unto us and your great promises. Help us to walk in them and follow Christ in them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Would you face the flag and repeat the pledge with me?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Pastor, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, under claims, minutes, payroll, we have 2 pre-approvals, one from the 23rd and one from the 30th of October, as well as 2 individual pre-approvals. I'm going to pull a fast one and say, do you have any comments or questions on those? I'm not even going to read them this morning. Just for you.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
So I am having a positive effect on the board.
There you go. I would entertain a motion to ratify the October 23rd and October 30th, as well as the 2 individual pre-approvals to Abertest and Ethan Financial Services as presented.
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is carried. We do have today's bills we need to pay. That would be in the general invoice edit report, $105,328.69. The other batch, $34,678.22. Highway batch, $52,859.17 for a grand total, $192,866.08. And we need to pay those today, so we need a motion to approve.
Mr. President, I would move that we approve the claims from 11/6/2023.
I second Mr. Wright's motion.
Motion, Mr. Wright, second, Mr. Stewart. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
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 Aye, it is carried. We're still working on, we do have sessions to ratify with we had a payroll in there too, didn't we?
Yep.
I was so excited.
Yep. You're trying to move quick. You're not doing too good.
Payroll number 22, pre-approval was given on the 24th and paid out on the 27th of October in the amount of $577,526.82. And we would need a motion to ratify that pay.
Mr. President, I would move that we ratify payroll number 22.
Second.
Motion to ratify with second. All those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is carried. We do have regular session July 17, August 7th, and August 21 of 2023 before you. And we have done our editing and corrections already. Any thoughts, changes that you would like to make, or a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as you presented.
Second.
Motion to approve minutes as presented. All those in favor would say aye.
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 Aye, it is carried. Okay, current claims, minutes, payroll, we've got that done. We do have a receipt from the clerk of courts dated ending 9/30 of 23. We need to receive that, and we can do it by common consent if you so desire.
Yep, sounds
Sounds
good to
good.
me.
All righty. Communications and board ups starting, updates started with the auditor's office. Anything from the auditor?
No, nothing to report.
All right. I see no other elected officials in the room. Bob is not here. Are you representing Bob today by any chance, or? All right, we'll hear from the Department of Communications, our Executive Director of Communications.
Alrighty, good morning.
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 As we've been talking about now for the last several weeks, we are doing some rearranging in our IT room, making it able to where we can bypass our battery backup for maintenance. The maintenance is scheduled for November the 16th, I believe it is. And in doing so, we discovered that we do not have any type of redundant power on our radio system. So when that system goes down, we will lose our radios. AT&T came in and put in redundant power on the 911 system. Marcus is working on redundant power for our network infrastructure. But as far as the radios are concerned, there's nothing there. So I have some proposals that were given to me by J&K. They said, this is what you guys need. I called Mr. Barsley last week and he said, get three quotes and we'll go from there. So I have the 3 quotes if you'd like to take a look at them.
Sure. When we're saying for radios, this is on location at the three sites?
No, this is on location at
Your
Central.
Central.
Okay.
Each of the 3 tower sites, you have a redundant power source.
Okay.
They have a generator and a battery backup. So if we need to isolate one, we can do that.
And this is technically to carry us 15 or 20 minutes.
Correct,
We lose power and generators take a second or so to get
correct.
fired up. We need something to carry communications until
Absolutely.
we've got the
Absolutely.
redundant generator going.
So it looks like we have quotes from two different companies and then just
The shopping cart one is off the APC website.
okay,
And then the other two are from companies. We do conduct business with CDWG. And K-Paul is one that was listed on the APC website in Indianapolis.
okay. And so under the shopping cart, is that our guys installing that then or what?
So J&K said if we purchase the equipment, they'll come down and install it.
Oh, okay, so,
So all we have to do is just purchase.
These other quotes are there.
So they got me the price off of the APC website, and then I reached out to CDW and K-Paul for the other two quotes.
gotcha.
The CDW is showing about $1,000 less than APC, and they're about $700 less than K-Paul. So
Was $1,000 lower than all the other ones, so.
And I'm trying to look quick. We're comparing the same product, the exact same unit as
So-
best I see.
yeah. So when I sent the request out, I took the part numbers that were provided to me by J&K, and I plugged those into CDW, and I emailed K-Paul specifically with those part numbers, and that's what they sent back. So.
Sound like CDW's making sense?
Yeah, any past problems with any of these companies or anything, Kevin?
We've dealt with CDW for years.
Okay.
We started using them when I was in the IT department. So I would feel comfortable moving forward with them.
And again, where are we going to get this money from?
I believe I have 10,000 in my contractual.
Good.
Okay.
So I don't believe that'll be an issue.
Thoughts, concerns, gentlemen?
Out of the three companies, if price didn't matter, there was no bids, which one would you go with?
It would be a toss up between CDW and K-Paul. K-Paul just because they're more of a local company.
Unless you guys feel different, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion that we approve CDW for this project.
I would second that.
Motion, Mr. Stewart. Second, Mr. Wright, to use the quote from CDW for our power redundance. Any other discussion?
No, sir.
Hearing none. All those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye. It is carried.
Thank you, gentlemen.
thank you.
Thank you.
Marcus, you're online. Anything from the IT department?
No, sir. Like, we're all good here.
I still see you smiling even in my head, so.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Maybe next time.
All right. Thank you. Any other elected officials, department heads? All right, we will move to Highway Department. Morning, David.
Morning. Updated you on a few projects. We did get started on Bridge 16, which is on EOW between 6 and 700 North about a week or so ago. I'm gonna go out there after the meeting and see how they're getting along there. Have prices on replacing our lawnmower out at the Highway Department. We have two grasshoppers right now, and we'd like to trade both of them in and get another mower. We think we can get by with one now since we've got our yard kind of caught up where it used to be. So I've got 4 different prices from 4 different companies. First one would be True Land. This is for trading in our 2 lawnmowers and purchasing one the same size as what we have. True Land trade-in value and with a new mower would be $2,300. Kunkel's was 4,425. A company named Bindle was $5,277, and Outdoor Concept was $1,400. So I'd like to recommend that we use Outdoor Concept. It's another grasshopper. And like I said, we'd be trading 2 in and getting one the same size of what we have.
What a difference in pricing and things
Yeah.
like that. Have you ever done any businesses with this outdoor?
Yeah,
Okay.
actually one of them came from there. So,
Okay.
yeah, so.
And you have the funds to take care of that in your
Mhm.
account?
Yep.
We need to make a motion on that then?
I think we need to authorize him with a motion to.
I would make that motion to accept outdoors $1,400 trade-in, and that's the difference that we would pay out for a new grasshopper.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Wright, second, Mr. Stewart. Any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
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 Aye, it is carried.
Still working on the road use agreement with Blackford County. I've got a new one with Kyle and stuff. I talked to Blackford County this morning. They still have not agreed on their road use agreement yet. So they said they'd recommend we don't sign off till they do, kind of thing. So I kind of agree with them. There's no sense. We're just a little up it in the thing. So I'm kind of going to wait on that.
And the thought behind that as well is if they agree to something at the last minute with their road use agreement that we don't have, then we can.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it'll kind of be a 2-stage thing. When we agree with that, we're going to have to agree with that SJCA company to do the work. So and they haven't even signed a contract with them yet. Blackford County hasn't. So I really don't see us jumping first kind of thing, in my opinion. So
Nope.
I do have a contract from Butler, Fairman and Cyphers for Bridge 712 here in Marion. This is the one that we'd like to try to apply for federal grant, which I believe, the way I understand, the state's going to accept them in November, and then I'll have to present it in January to the state to try to get awarded the funding for that project. And I would say it'll be 2030 or 2029, somewhere in that area. This is for right-of-way design, permitting, all kinds of stuff like that. And talking with BF&S on this project, what they're kind of going to do is just start out and then see if we get awarded the project before they go jumping, getting everything ready. Because we'll know probably by spring whether we got awarded it or not. The total for the contract is $490,409.50. Like I said, so I guess that'll be paid as they do get process done, steps done in their design and et cetera. But I've talked to them, they're just not going to go do it all at once and then find out we don't get the money. So we'll kind of work as we go along, but at least I think it'll show good initiative to the state that we've started the process. And then if we do get awarded, then we can move the process along a little faster, kind of thing. So,
And you're saying that that's still potentially 6 years out.
yes, for construction.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Amazing.
yeah. And I think, we've done this in the past, having
Mhm.
stuff shovel ready, that I think it did help our chances of getting funding for federal aid projects. So if you'd like to look at these contracts, there's one for us and one for them. If you, I put where it needs to be signed, and then the back has kind of the breakdown, the right of way and how they charge for each additional line item and everything. So
When you say Bridge 712 is 14th Street.
no, it was Branson.
Branson, okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Remind me, have we been working with City of Marion on this?
We haven't really started yet, but once we start design work, then we'll get them involved.
'Cause I know
we're gonna have a lot of utilities and
Utilities approach,
sidewalks and stuff.
the north side approach at the Y and on River Avenue just are
Right.
atrocious. So
Yeah, and actually, kind of the way I put it in the application for the federal grant was we would actually see if we could work with the Y and go move their driveway to the north. So it's not right there at the end of the bridge. I've already talked to the city of Marion about closing the street that goes to the east off, the one that goes under the railroad tracks. They didn't act like they had an issue with that, because it's not a very safe road street anyways. So, I've already talked to them a little bit about that, and they said they wouldn't have an issue with that. So probably the utilities are going to be the big thing, because there's water, sewage,
right.
gas, power, everything. So
More questions, gentlemen? Any thoughts?
I know it's a lot of money, but I think, like I said, is they're not going to go spend $490,000 next year. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Kind of, if we get awarded, then they'll jump in and we'll get things going. But if we don't, it's going to be one of those, well, we're getting started on it, but not spending all the money at once kind of.
So in order to get the grant money, we don't have to have something ready, shovel ready at a cost?
No.
Okay.
Because basically what you can do is if you want to apply, like the last time we applied, and what we applied the last time was that the state would pay 80% of the design work.
Okay.
So, and we'd only pay 20%. So with us saying that we're going to pick up the 100% on that, it kind of makes them say, well, they're really trying to get this job done.
Gotcha.
And that's what we did on Pennsylvania. We paid up for all of it, the construction, design. So then when we went to them and asked them to do that, they were like, you've already done that. It's all ready. The right of way was all ready. And then, so they didn't have to pay any of that.
Okay.
So,
We have in the past done this to try and get foot in the door, so to speak, and it has helped us get a few other projects done this way. I would encourage it, but that's again up to you gentlemen as to.
I guess my question is, I guess what we're looking at, what do we need to do at this point?
if you agree to sign that contract and everything, then when I do apply in November, it kind of shows that we've already started the process.
The process?
Yeah.
Okay.
We would agree as of this date to go into an agreement with Butler, Fairman, Seaford in out of Indianapolis for the engineering of Bridge 712.
And so we don't have to get other bids, or they were the only ones that bid on it, or?
We don't have to do that for contractual services.
For
like
services,
Oh,
yes.
okay. Interesting.
And the
Okay.
only reason I always use these is they've done about 6 bridges for us here in the county. And so they know, and I always use them for over the river,
Okay.
because they know some shortcuts and things, how we like it done. They bid the bridge at Jalapa. They've done the one on 500 East over the river. They did the one over by Upland on 700 South. That was prior to my administration, and they did the Washington Street Bridge, they've done the Pennsylvania Street Bridge, so they've done big bridges
Okay.
that go over 300 and some feet long bridges. So I always feel real confident. The manager that does it, he's really good at knowing how we want things done and everything else. So
Is this a standard agreement that attorneys already signed off on?
yeah, well, I mean, that's pretty much the standard one they've always gave us for a number of years. So
So you need a motion on that?
We would need a motion to go into
Mr.
agreement.
President, I would move that we pass accepting the engineering cost from Butler, Fairman and Seifert, $490,409. And did you say 50 cents?
mhm.
Hey, 50 cents. And that would be my motion.
No, second Mr. Wright's motion.
A motion with support, and any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
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 Aye, it is carried. We have signatures that we need. Just go ahead and do this now so it's out of the way. You'll be proud of me, David. I'm using Homeland Security blue. I didn't see a spot for the auditor test. Is that not necessary?
I just have a couple more things to bring up. The bridge that you were talking about earlier, Mark, 791 on 14th Street. Hopefully maybe next meeting I'll have a contract with it. I've been working with them on that to get that started for construction. And that'll probably be a 2025 community crossing grant that we'll apply for. Thank you.
Mhm.
So that's where I'm kind of standing with that project. We did get Forest Ridge Housing Addition paved like a week ago. Got that all completed. And we're planning on starting on 500 East between State Road 26 and Wheeling on Friday doing the bridge, and then probably Monday next week of paving the project. So working on that. I've tried to get a hold of that Mrs. Kane or Kiefer on
Kiefer.
Crane Pond. I got her cell phone number and everything, but it won't let me leave a voice message. It kind of just goes blank. So I'll try again on that.
Sounds
So,
like we've done what we can do.
yeah. So I've tried to get a hold of her a couple times on that. So, and then the only other thing I had to bring up was I just want to make sure it's right if I went to the commissioners conference the end of November for that. So they have some training for supervisors and engineers too. Just want to make sure that's all right. So.
No complaints.
Somebody literally asked him if he was going, so I think you're expected.
Yeah, I figured that. So, but that's all I have. If that's all right.
Any questions for David today?
We're doing a tile project out on Okokomo Road, and then we got another one on 550, and then I'll try to get the EMS and get started on that.
Good.
So just
How late can you asphalt? I mean, we're
I'm,
getting
I'm
that
past
kind
my
of,
I'm past my limit.
yeah, I was
that
gonna say,
I'm
we're gonna get
comfortable.
late in the season here.
Yeah, so I want to do 500 East, and then I'm done.
Okay.
I'm tapping out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with a new strategy next year because I'm starting to pave in April. So I've already done decided that. So
You normally go May.
yeah, and what kind of messed us up this year was we had to wait to see if we was awarded the community crossing grant because I had to match that.
Gotcha.
And that's, we didn't find out till what, the end of May if we was awarded those projects. So that just really messes things up.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to apply in January, but they don't notify you till the end of May. So half the summer's gone for
Right.
us. So,
Right.
so we'll do something a little different next year. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Good, thank you.
All right, we have no old business on the agenda under new business. vendor selection announcement, boiler chiller project. We do need to go through our proper procedures. We placed a notice of public hearing. And I'll just read that for the record. Grant County, Indiana, public hearing on recommendations to award public-private agreement pursuant to Indiana Code 5-23-5-9. This notice is to inform the general public of a hearing that will be held by Grant County Board of Commissioners on November 6th, 10 a.m. at the Grant County Complex, County Council Chambers, 401 South Adams Street, Marion, Indiana, 46955. Technically, that's 3, not 2. The public hearing concerns the county board BOT evaluation committees, the committee recommendation to award a public-private agreement, scoping agreement, also called the agreement, with a developer for Grant County Jail and Annex Boiler and Chiller Project, also known as the project. Upon the committee's recommendation, the Grant County Board of Commissioners intend to negotiate with the recommended developer and eventually enter into agreement to design, construct, other professional services with the recommended developer. Commissioners intend to pursue, negotiate, and finalize a guaranteed maximum price with the recommended developer. Committee shall recommend awarding the agreement to Ameresco, the developer. The developer scored the highest among the other the other offerers, and the committee placed a heavy emphasis on the developer's experience with similar projects, their experience working with Grant County, and the developer's experience in the local presence. Committee shall provide a more in-depth explanation of the basis upon which the recommendation is being made at the public hearing. Upon the publishing of this notice, the received proposals and the explanation shall be available for inspection and copy Grant County Auditor's Office, which it has been during regular business hours, and the Grant County's address again for the Auditor's Office. We have come to that time of public hearing, and I've read the notice of public hearing. We will open up the public hearing for comment. We are looking to award Ameresco, and if the public would like to make any comment regarding this particular issue, we invite you to be acknowledged, step up to the podium, present your name, address, and any thoughts on this matter. Would there be anyone on WebEx that wishes to speak? We'll have a representative from Envoy speak here in just a moment. Hearing none. Dale, do you have any thoughts or comments for us regarding this project?
Thank you, Commissioner Bardsley. Excited to move forward on this very necessary project. The boilers are in need of replacement, and the chiller is at the end of its functional life. So this is a very timely investment for the community. And want to echo your comments of Ameresco's local knowledge, their buying power, their industry partnerships, and their experience with this type of project delivery, this build, operate, transfer, delivery. Those will all bode well for the county and help make our process as smooth as possible.
We thank Envoy for helping us to coordinate this. This has been a test for the BOT concept for Grant County. We've never used it before. And so being able to say we're going to put a certain amount of money toward a project and it has to come in at that or lower in order for the project to move forward, again, helps to save Grant County money. And we're really excited about that. So gentlemen, do you have any questions for Dale, or we've pretty much gone through the review with the two presentations, and we chose to head toward Ameresco. So any questions or thoughts?
I think the only thing I would bring up, Mr. Davis, is the fact that even though we're doing this today, we're kind of a long way out from this boiler chiller coming in, correct? Because of the building of it, correct?
Yeah, so this isn't equipment that's necessarily available for us off the shelf. Well, I say that the boilers are much more readily available. Those are more standardized. Right now, we're going to enter into a scoping period with Ameresco, and what that is their design time. Their design professionals will come on site. They will inspect the equipment. As we understand it right now, we need 4 boilers and a chiller. That's assuming everything plugs and plays nicely together. That's kind of the great thing about the build, operate, transfer process is now we can have this company come in and really study our systems and understand what needs to be replaced. If this can be just a simple, plug and play replacement, or if there's something else we need to consider along the way, maybe a pump won't be compatible with the new system, maybe it will be. But that'll allow us to go into this eyes wide open and do a comprehensive replacement and not, oh, hey, we're halfway through replacement and you're getting a change order for 2 new pumps. Like, we're going into this eyes wide open, you know what you're getting and they know what they're selling. And that's the period we're going to enter now. You should have an agreement here in short order from Ameresco to that effect to engage in a public-private agreement. And that'll be the first step of our process. After they have done their design work, you will get a guaranteed maximum price, and that will be an amendment to the agreement, which once this is designed, that will be their price. Unless there is a directed change, which, directed by the county. So if along the way, oh, this system is kind of old, we could do that at this time for this amount of savings. That would be an owner change. That's the only way the cost would increase after that guaranteed maximum price is issued, is if it's at your direction. Otherwise, now it's a matter of getting the team on site, and then we'll start to understand lead times on the equipment, because as you know, with any of this mechanical equipment, lead times can get kind of long on us. So we'll start making the most appropriate decisions we can in terms of what system to use, what provider to use. At a day's notice, it's either Train or it's Daikin or it's Carrier. Like they're all different lead times. They all work with different equipment, and that's what we're gonna unravel next.
Any questions for Dale? All right. Want to make sure anybody else, public, online, or in the room? Any comments about moving forward with Ameresco? Yes.
Julie Hartman, 26, 40 East, 1050 South Fairmount. I was just curious, what was the amount on the other quote or quotes that we got for?
With a request for proposal, we do not get quotes. We look at the company, their development of what they have done. This particular other company besides Ameresco is outside the state of Indiana, and they've only had a couple of actual projects in the state of Indiana. We worked with Ameresco, and so that made more sense to us to go with them.
So we don't know what they were going to do it for.
They give us their qualifications and we determine that we want to use their services.
Okay.
Then they help us to determine the actual price after that.
Okay, that was nice that Dale was
Dale.
here today. Who is he with?
He is with Envoy. They are a fiduciary company that helps us to help save money.
Okay, and his connection with the Ameresco.
He helped us to vet he is our representative that helps us vet the company saying they want to work for us.
Okay.
I'm
all right,
the owner's technical representative. I'm here to use our development acumen from Envoy to represent the county's interests and help them make the best decisions that we can.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. All right. Any other public comment? Hearing none, we will close the public discussion of this public hearing and turn it over to the Board of Commissioners. we kind of have already stated where we're going. With everything that we've accumulated over these last few months now, gentlemen, are you ready to commit to our vendor selection for Amoresco?
I'll make a motion that we approve Amoresco for our boiler chiller project as presented.
Second. Motion, Mr. Stewart, second, Mr. Wright. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye, it is carried. Thank you. Appreciate your time, Dale.
Oh, always. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you, commissioners.
Great, thank you. Thank you. All right, next up on new business, proposal of commissary and food contracts. Sheriff Garcia is not here, but I see Jason. Sir, what do you have for us this morning?
Sheriff Garcia was working the street last night, so I'm his stand-in. We gave you guys the proposal to readjust the commissary. This is the contract is being amended from the previous administration. So we let the contract go or stay within, we were following the contract from the previous administration. So this is the new one that will allow us to be able to have a new washer. I think they're going to purchase for us. There's an addendum for that. And then there's a price increase, obviously, because we have more inmates than we did when the first contract was put in place.
So the contract does take into effect that we know exactly what we're going to be spending a month,
Yes.
no matter how many inmates we got. They're bidding it on, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wasn't aware of that. Okay.
Has this contract already been walked through with
Kyle, yeah.
Kyle?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
He made some clarifications. They sent it back. They made those clarifications for us. So this is the final project or the final copy of it.
Sheriff's happy with the changes and has brought it to us. We would need to authorize the approval of this contract.
I would make a motion that we accept the contract from Tiger with the sheriff's recommendation that that's the way he wants to go.
I'll second that.
We have a motion, Mr. Wright, second, Mr. Stewart, to approve the Tiger contract as presented. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, it is carried.
Thank you.
I'll bring it to you this afternoon.
Okay.
Thank you, Jason. Next up, just a affirmation of the ARPA loss revenue discussion. Last month, we did approve to recommend and send to the county council the provision for loss recovery line item, which will cover basically $10 million, anything south of $10 million on ARPA funds. And so that is going to them. That has been advertised and we see them next week to discuss it, right?
Yes.
So that's where we are on that. Justin, you have GIS data request.
There is a GIS data request from Tyler Technologies. They're specifically looking for street center lines with address ranges and address points, or the parcels with the property address in a shapefile format. Tyler is used by Marion Community Schools in their transportation program. So they're seeking permission for those shapefiles. Once approved, I would get a hold of Schneider Geospatial and they would release that housed information.
That's just a kind of a keeping thing that we've done in order not just to allow files to go out to anyone, they have to request it. And we usually do not have a problem with that, so. We would need a motion to allow Tyler Technologies to access our GIS information.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Snyder, second, Mr. Wright.
Mr. Snyder.
Did I say Snyder? I apologize. Mr. Stewart. At least I didn't call you Mallory. Because a couple times I thought Ron.
Yeah.
All right. Where are we? Any discussion?
We gotta, yeah.
We're ready to vote.
No discussion. Whatever your name is. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. See, I just need to slow down and enjoy the day
You're
anyway.
doing fine.
I missed the 12-minute mark, didn't I? So,
You'll get the hang of this one.
all right. Presentation of updates on health insurance policy.
Actually, we'll back up just a second and go to ratification
Yeah.
of.
Oh, well works, okay.
So this is just a ratification. Pre-approval was given on October 24th for the new WellWorks agreement to amend contract. We did get a couple cents cheaper on the price per employee per month. So that was beneficial. Other than that, there were changes to the program as far as we're removing the tobacco piece and adding in a e-learning webinars. So those are the only changes. We just need approval for that ratification.
And this has been approved by local unions that we have.
I'm sorry.
This has been approved by local unions that we have represented with the county, or no?
No,
How's that work?
This is our policy.
This is our policy. Okay, okay.
This is strictly for the wellness discounts.
Gotcha. Okay.
We had a time deadline, that's why I did the pre-approval, so.
Gotcha.
Yes. I'll make a motion that we ratify the new WellWorks agreement.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Stewart. Second, Mr. Wright. Any other discussion?
No, sir.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's carried. Keep us on track, Justin.
Next up, we've got the updated retiree health insurance policy. Essentially, this was brought up to speed with what was recently negotiated with the union. So we changed the internal policy. The only difference, we keep the age at 65 as opposed to the union's contract, which is, I believe, 50. And essentially what you voted to do was to bring the premiums of the retirees to the same as active employees, which is a huge win for the employees. So
It's good for the employees. It hopefully engenders some loyalty that says we want to
Yeah.
stay with Grant County instead of trying to farm out and looking for jobs elsewhere with better benefits.
That's one of the things I was reading in here, have completed at least 20 years, and hopefully that will get some retention going with our officers instead of them taking a look at some greener grass where they pay more, right? So I think this is one of the least things that we can do to help make sure we got some longevity to our employees.
So that is, have we actually put our blessing on this publicly yet?
no.
We have not done that, so we would need to make a motion to ratify the update as presented.
I would make a motion that we ratify the Grant County retiree health insurance policy.
I second.
Motion with support. Mr. Wright made the motion. Mr. Stewart seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
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 Last but not least,
Last one, ratification of courthouse square usage request. This come from essentially Imagine Burger and Brew, the food truck, so that they would be allowed on the courthouse square. This was pre-approved on October 19th. And they've been here, I think, twice since. And we were trying to hurry up before the weather turned and get that done. So
They had a good turnout.
yeah, he said it worked very well and he came back the very next week.
Good.
so we would just need a ratification of that pre-approval.
I'll ratify the pre-approval of Imagine Burger being on the courthouse square.
Second.
Motion with support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is carried. Do you have other new business?
No, sir.
I do have just a note, an update that Mr. Mott wanted us to be aware of. He says, I just want to let everyone know, great news, our income survey that we started is in, and we got Okra approval.
Awesome.
On that. Our next step is to put together a 3 to 5 minute member scoring committee, along with getting our RFPQ for the actual process. Ryan, did you want to update us on that in any other way?
No, I just got it before your meeting started.
Well, congratulations. That's another step forward in helping us with Okra grants in the future, and glad that we can keep this thing moving forward.
Yep. I'm gonna have a comp plan.
We'll get there.
Right. All right. All right. Other item I need to do is see if we have any other public comment this morning. At this time, public is invited to speak before the board. Please approach the podium when recognized by the president to state your name, address, concerns, or comments. No complaints, accusations, or name calling regarding personnel can be made allowed during this public discussion time. Limit of 3 minutes will be given. If more than one person represents a group, only one spokesperson will be heard. It's expected that professionalism and courtesy is displayed at all times during the public comment portion of the meeting. First of all, anyone online that wishes to address the board this morning? Not seeing any movement. Anyone in the room? All right. Gentlemen, are you aware of any other business?
No, sir.
Well, we're getting better. We're still under an hour.
That's not
You
bad.
did good.
All right. Remind me, is it the 15th? When's our next?
The 15th is the council.
That's council.
13th. Or no,
No,
The 20th.
20th.
yes.
Okay. So our next meeting is November 20 at 10 a.m. And until that time, we are in recess. Thank you.
All right.
There was an additional on that from Ryan. Additional information. Nicole and I had a meeting with Jonesboro Bob McNutt. McNutt offered to the area plan its unsafe building fund in a sum of $20,000.
Well,
Mayor McNutt said that they have been this building fund to contribute to area plan. We assist area plan as it's been able to help with Jonesboro. So that may be
that's
part of
great.
discussion for you
That's
tonight.
great. Well, and that'll be money we can actually use toward the comprehensive plan.
Yeah, keep using it.
That's
That's
awesome. It is. And I mean, we did go over there and tear down a couple of their
Mhm.
buildings there, and I'm sure that's probably the reason he did that.
It's just, we're
That's
working together. That's right.
Imagine that.
Great.